Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino, coming at you again today with yet another video and yet another album cover ranking video of the Beatles starting their solo careers. I've kind of finished the main Beatles. I discovered I missed an album in my last one. Ooh, and they've updated an album in my last one too. So, but anyways, we're moving on to Paul McCartney and going to be ranking his album covers. And boy, I've had racking my brain on how to do this and break it down and not make the videos too long, and I don't want to have everything all at once. So I'm doing him by decades, basically. So I'm going to start with the 1970s, anything released between 1970 and, well, ones before, actually, and 1979 is going to be included in this. So basically the Wings stuff and any of his early solo stuff there. And so we ended up with 13 albums on this. So let's see how they all ranked out, though, after the intro. Yeah, we got 13 album covers to rank here that came out from Paul McCartney between 1976, actually, or 67 and 1979. So, as you're figuring out with that one, and it is going to be the lowest ranked one, but I got to give it credit. It is a Paul McCartney album, and it is from that early period. But Family Way is going to be the number 13. And I just can't give this a huge rank. And this is the only one I don't have on vinyl. So, but it originally came out on January 6th of 1967. And there it is. I think there's a couple of different covers. Neither of them are really great, though. I'm going to just count this as the main one. And, I mean, it isn't Paul McCartney. It's for a film soundtrack. So, you know, his name's all over it because, of course, they wanted to sell the album, and his name was a hot name, still is a hot name. But yeah, it just isn't Paul McCartney to me, aside from his name being on there. So there, that one is. And we'll move on to number 12, and this also isn't Paul McCartney, but it's Percy Thrill's Thrillington. And this will be followed into number 12 here. This is originally came out on April 29th, 1977. This is my colored vinyl reissue version of it. So if you're thinking it looks a little too clean in that, I'll kind of show you the front and the back of each one. Really not much going on here. If I'm reading this right, the cover art was by an artist or design team called Hypnosis, if I'm reading that correct, which is kind of a clever play on the word there with that. But that is who done this up. I think they worked on quite a few of his stuff though. So, but there is number 12 on that. Not much to say on this one here. I tend to find I like if it's artwork and stuff or photography stuff, it doesn't feature the band, I tend not to rank it very high. And I think that's kind of worked out with a lot of my Beatles ones I've done so far. And with Paul McCartney, it's looking to be that way too. So up at number 11, we got Wings Greatest. Originally came out on November 22nd, 1978. The sleeve is credited to Paul and Linda McCartney for the photography and stuff here. Aubrey Paul and George Hardy are credited with the artwork that they assisted with it. And then Hypnosis, again, is credited with the design on it. I'll just kind of show you the front and the back here again. But that's what we got for number 11 on it. Too much really going on. And of course, this little statue is in Paul McCartney's MPL offices in London. I always hear Beatley Tone talking about it, that you can even see it from the street sitting up there, up in his office up there. So that's pretty cool on that. And number 10 is going to be Wings at the Speed of Sound. Originally came out on March 26th of 1976. Of course, this is credited to Linda McCartney as the photographer on the cover here. And then the back artwork looks like it's credited to Clive Aerosmith. Did the photos on the back here. Looks like Bob Ellis did the photo inside the club, and then Humphrey Ocean did the inner sleeve artwork. I just, like I said, again, it's not really the band on the cover. I know this is a Linda photograph, of course, from the archive collection. It has all the information on it. I don't have that archive collection, so I haven't been able to read that, but I know they've got a whole section in there showing her setting up at the theater there and taking the photo. To me, it doesn't look like a photo, though. That's what really shocks me, is that this is an actual photo. But I don't know if it's just how it comes out on the cover there or what, but it just doesn't look like it's, of course, the marquee at a theater, and they put the Wings at the Speed of Sound on there and took photos of it. But yeah, I'd rather see Wings on it. So I guess you got them on the back there. And this one I'm going to pull out of my protector sleeve there, because I do want to show the gatefold on it, as I think it does kind of fall into some of the artwork here, because the gatefolds and stuff aren't quite going to be the be-all end-all to make this better or not, but it can help it in some degrees. This one, though, it didn't help a lot, but it did move it up kind of for these just photograph ones a little more. But this, of course, Wings Over America originally came out on December 10th of 1976. The cover photo and painting is credited to, the outer cover photo painting is credited to Richard Manning. The inner cover, so the gatefold here, is credited to Jeff Cummings. Poster photo, which I'm not going to pull the poster out, but is Bob Ellis. Graphics are by Richard Evans. Jeff with a G. I'm not sure my writing here. Did the lettering, and then Hypnosis/MPL did the sleeve design. So there's that Hypnosis again, but here's the front, the back, and I am going to show, before I show the gatefold, I'm going to show this all together because it does kind of fold out like that. But this is a wonderful gatefold on that. I absolutely love this, of the gatefold. And Beatley Tone just got a printout of this, and now it's sitting behind him in his videos, and I've really been enjoying looking at that during his videos. So really cool gatefold on that. But yeah, this is going to be at number 9. I don't think I did my little number 9 joke there at the beginning. But yeah, Wings Over America is next up. Again, not really showing the band, but at least it's got the gatefold to kind of bump it up over some of those other ones there. Okay, and at number 8, we got Venus and Mars, and still another one not really with a photo of the band or anything, so that's why it's where it's at. But it does got a great gatefold, or a decent gatefold. I think actually Wings Over America's is better. If I'm judging by the gatefolds, Wings Over America would be the better one. That might be an interesting video I'll do someday. I'll try to keep that in the mind here. But yeah, Venus and Mars, May 27th, 1975 was its original release. Linda, of course, is credited with the photo, cover photo here. Poe did the photo of the gatefold. Sylvia DeSwan, Sylvia DeSwan did the poster that's in here. Hypnosis again, was also working with the gatefold there. And then George Hardy/NTA did the graphics on this. So kind of getting credit to everybody that were credits due. And I'm pulling these credits. I can't believe I didn't think of this before from, but there's the front, the back, and the cover there. And then we'll show the gatefold here. Like I said, the gatefold isn't 100% kind of crediting these, but anything with the gatefold I think is going to do just a little better, because it's given like a 5% better chance for it, I guess, let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm trying to pick up all the credits on everything. I found it, I can't believe I didn't think about it, but I'm getting this all from Discogs. On my Beatles ones, I had done all those, and I realized, oh yeah, Discogs does give all the credits for stuff. So if you get digging there good enough and find the right release thing there, you should find some pretty good credits for everything. I'm trying to get everybody credited the best I can, so forgive me if I get it wrong. I'm going off of Discogs. Blame Discogs, not me. I guess you could blame me for not doing better research, but also if I'm getting names wrong, blame my handwriting on that one. So, and also I'm never the best at pronunciating stuff. So yet again, another album cover with yet not the band on it, or Paul or whoever. Well, he's on the back as I'm looking at his picture here as I'm holding it down. But number 7 is going to be McCartney. And this is really my favorite of these just artwork ones. I absolutely love this. I love cherries though. So maybe that's got a little, I absolutely love anything cherry flavored, or just cherries in general. I'll even eat just, cherries with the pit on them and everything. I just love cherries, I guess. So, but yeah, there is the cover there. Of course, the Linda McCartney cover originally came out though on April 17th of 1970. And sticking true to this being just McCartney on it, the photos and everything are just credited to a McCartney also, which would be Linda on that. So she did the front, the back, the wonderful picture of Paul with the kiddo there in the back there. And of course the gatefold with all of its wonderful photos here. So there we go. And I always love the Paul picking his nose I remember my nephews got a big kick out of that when I showed that to them. I'm like, hey, look at Paul picking his nose. I was down here listening to this with them one time, and they got a kick out of that. So, but yeah, number 7 will be McCartney. And up next at number 6, so we got the first one with the band on the cover. And it is going to be London Town I picked as the number 6. And I was kind of surprised as I was sorting out the albums here that's where I went on this, but I'm standing by it. I guess we could flip-flop 6 and 5 pretty easy. The rest of them, though, I'm pretty solid. That's where they are. Actually, we could almost flip-flop 6, 5, and 4, now that I'm looking at who I got coming up here. Of course, London Town came out on March 26th of 1978. The cover photos are credited to Paul, Linda, and Denny. And looks like we have got Aubrey Powell and George Hardy again for the cover coordination is what they were credited for. This one, of course, doesn't have a gatefold, but so we just got the front and the back, which is kind of funny that Paul, Linda, and Denny all took the pictures here. I think it is a great cover, and I do like the pop of the color with the London Town at the front there, on the top there, with all the different colors that they use for that, and then also on the back here with the wings. Really kind of cool on that. But yeah, I think the rest are just a little bit better of the photos of the band covers that we got coming up here now. Which brings us to the top 5 now. Wow. And we've got Wings Wildlife here, or Wildlife. And this originally came out on December 3rd of 1971. Barry Laitgen is credited with the photography. Paul is credited with the B-side of the record label there, the photo on the B-side of the record label. And Linda's credited with the A-side. Of course, the picture of Linda on the one and the picture of Paul on the other. So Paul took Linda's and Linda took Paul's. So there we go. But yeah, I really like this cover. And I was looking at it with London Town. You do get a little more up close. With Paul, Linda, and Denny there, where this one we're a little further away with the crew there. But I just really like the outdoors, kind of the peaceful. You can almost hear the little river or stream or whatever behind them there, kind of babbling along. Yeah, I just really have always liked this cover. It always just stands out in my head. And there isn't really much on the back there. And of course, the A and the B side of the label, a custom label with a picture of Paul and Linda's face there. So a little more design there with that, but yeah, it's in number 5 though, and I think that's pretty good for it. And coming in at number 4, we've got Back to the Egg, which originally came out on June 8th of 1979. So we got the front cover, and other photos within are credited to John Shaw, and then the rear cover we got Paul and Linda. Get the credits on some of the rear ones, but I think so does John Shaw. Has got some of the rear cover too. But there it is. I think it's kind of interesting how everything kind of turned out here with this. It is a little dark and it is a little hard to see them, but I think it's kind of a cool photo of them looking through like the spaceship, or I don't know what they're on there, looking down. I guess they're on the egg, I guess. Looking through the egg, down the mechanical window there, down to the earth there. But yeah, I think it's an interesting cover there with that and all the artwork with it and whatnot. And there is the back. Not a lot going on there, but enough to pull it up to the number 4 spot, I guess. And now moving on to number 3. This one is my number 1 album, but it is Ram. It came out on May 17th of 1971. The photos are, of course, credited to Linda McCartney on this again. And cover here, yeah, it speaks for itself. Paul with the ram there. And I love how John did his little take on it, holding the pig. That came out on the Imagine one there with one of the postcards in it. But yeah, the front, the back on that. I love the pop of the color on everything here too. That really helps us out. And it does have a gatefold too, which does help out some too. Like I said, not a lot, but the gatefolds do kind of credit there. So of course those are all Linda's. I always love the Beatles doing their thing there too. There's a lot going on this cover, and I've always enjoyed, just as I've enjoyed listening to the album itself, you know, sitting and taking it all in with that too. So yeah, but there is number 3, which is Ram. So I think you're kind of figuring what's left for number 1 and number 2. So of course number 2 is going to be Red Rose Speedway. This originally came out on April 3rd of 1973. The cover photo and other photos are credited to Linda McCartney. We got caption snap is credited to other photos. Alan Jones and Eduardo Palazzi, is credited for the artwork. And then Gordon House or Haug, like I said, forgive my handwriting. I can't read it myself, so I'm not even going to show you what I got here. Words in the corner will help me on this one. But he's credited with the graphics on it. And I've always liked this cover. It always sticks out in my mind. I got the hype sticker on this copy that I've got here. But it always sticks in my mind, you know, the Rose and his mouth there, the motorcycle engine behind him, the graphics on the lettering here are really great. It's always one that just pops into my head. When you say Red Rose Speedway, immediately I'm thinking this photo. And I'm not going to show you everything on the gatefold here with the booklet and everything, but of course we do got the booklet, and the booklet does get a little graphic. That's why I'm not going to show everything. But we all know what it kind of looks like, but really kind of cool artwork in the middle and everything in the booklet. So this one's got a lot going on for it, and just a really memorable cover. Even the Braille for Stevie Wonder on the back. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. My back has got, I found this used somewhere, and yeah, I got a good price on it. So, but I liked it with the hype sticker. I remember that. I was like, I got to have it with the hype sticker. But yeah, we got that one there. So I think we all know what number one is, but let's take a look at it. So number one is Band on the Run. November 30th, 1973 was the release date. Photo is credited to Clive Aerosmith. Hypnosis helped with the concept on it. And then, of course, in the photo, we got Michael Parkinson, Kenny Lynch, James Cobran, Clement Freud, Christopher Lee, and John Kant. Anyways, him. So that's who's all on the cover there. Of course, all these celebrities, Paul kind of, and Linda kind of, and Denny kind of, and then of course they're on there too, Paul, Linda, and Denny. But just such an iconic photo and just really great. I think they really did a great job with this, and this always is just seared into your mind when you hear about Wings, think about Band on the Run, anything with that. Of course, the back there, no gatefold on this one, so not even the gatefold to help it out, and it still went number one in my mind. I just couldn't see anything else being anywhere near this to me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's Band on the Run is their most popular. Well, there's a reason why it's so popular, because it's got such a great album cover. I see I only ranked it as number 3, though, on my album ranking, so there we go. But yeah, Band on the Run is going to be my number 1 album cover, so this will be competing with the rest of them. As I said, I'm going to compile everything, and the number 1s are all going to meet up together to kind of see who is the best of the best, I guess, on that. Best of the Beatles, between the Beatles and the solo stuff and everything, and all the decades with everything too, because I broke everything down kind of into decades and so forth. So this will be competing again, so we'll have to see how it holds up to that. But I think it was just such a great photo, just looking at it again too, just how great, you know, the concept was on it and everything, and you know, think of the lyrics of the song and everything on that. Yeah, it's really great. So they did a great job on this. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for that. So we'll have next time up, we're going to do the 80s, which didn't have a lot to it. So and I'm factoring in any of the, like, the Fireman albums, the classical albums, which those don't really come until the 90s, but just kind of showing you how I kind of worked this out, because I wanted to include every single one of his album artwork. I'm not doing like promo stuff. You know, any of the main releases are going to get into this, and through each decade there, and whether he was a Fireman or a Wing or a Wings, I guess, or just a Paul McCartney, is all going to be in there. Anyways, that is how that all wraps up there, and I'm going to get fully signing out. Before I do, though, once again, I want to thank all my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like if you liked it, and like I always say, if you stuck around to this point, you must like it, so please give it a like, and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know your thoughts on this ranking. Do you agree with it? I don't think any of us are going to be 100% on agreement on it, and that's beautiful and wonderful that we all got our own opinion, and if we didn't, it would be pretty boring to watch a video like this, wouldn't it? If we all agreed, it would be quite boring on that. So if you don't agree with my ranking, don't criticize me on it. Just let me know what yours is, because we're all right. It doesn't matter what ranking you put it at, we're all right on it. It's Paul McCartney, it's the Beatles. You can't go wrong. So there we go. But anyways, I'm going to get fully signing out. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.